Good morning, guys. Thanks for joining me for another What I Eat in a Day as a vegan on Slimming World. My name's Leanne. If you're new here, I'm vegan, trying to lose weight on the Slimming World plan. If you're coming back, as always, thanks ever so much for doing so. Really appreciate you guys. So today is Tuesday. It is the 5th of January 2021. We're back in lockdown. For me personally, doesn't pose a problem. I am happy to do that while the vaccine's rolled out. Obviously, I appreciate it's not. Some people are struggling with it, so just try and get through it, and it's not going to be that long. For breakfast, I'm having peanut butter toast. Now, you may wonder why there's 3 pieces of bread there, and the answer is that they're teeny tiny. Because they are the end of the loaf, so it's still my healthy extra B choice, but they're about 2/3 of the size of like a normal piece. Well, 2 of them are, and one of them is like the very thin crusty bit. So as far as I'm concerned, that makes up my 2 normal small slices from a small wholemeal loaf. You see what I mean? On them I have 1.5 teaspoons, i.e. half a tablespoon, of pippin nut maple peanut butter, which is 2 syns for the half tablespoon. And then on top of that, I have a teaspoon on each, so 3 teaspoons of raspberry and vanilla jam. Jam is half a syn per teaspoon, so that's 1.5 syns. So my toast is my healthy extra B plus 3.5 syns. And then I've also got just my usual coffee, great big tall coffee, which is just my usual Percol espresso coffee with 100 mils of Alpro almond barista for 1 syn. So that puts me on 4.5 syns to start my day. Just to show you what I mean about these being very small. That's why. To spread the peanut butter, it isn't like half a teaspoon on each of these. It does not go very far. And obviously it's a crunchy one, so it's it doesn't spread very well. So it's very patchy, but having the teaspoon of jam on top of each really helps, because it just makes it feel a bit more all round. It's 12:30 right now, and I'm hungry for my lunch. I'm actually just gonna heat up my lunch and eat it now, and then I actually need to go to the shops quickly. So I'm just gonna eat while I'm working and then go out to the shops. I was gonna do it the other way around, but if I go shopping while I'm hungry, then it's just a recipe for disaster, and I don't need the any temptation right now. I just need to be on plan. So yes, that is what I'm doing. So for lunch, you may recall last night I just made this kind of tray bake. It's just vegan chicken by Alt, which is syn free, and then broccoli, peppers, tomatoes and red onion, all cooked in some harissa spices. And in this portion there is the equivalent of half a tablespoon of olive oil, which is 3 syns. So here's the heated tray bake, I guess. I've topped it with, it's actually only about 60 grams of the Alpro plain Greek style yogurt, but it's half a syn for 100 grams, so half a syn for that. And on top of that, I've put some za'atar, which is just like a Middle Eastern spice. I've mentioned it before. I really like it. You can buy it from various places. Mine's just from Sainsbury's. But essentially, za'atar is thyme, sumac, and a few sesame seeds. I personally don't syn sumac because the amount of sesame seeds in there is so small. Seeds, for reference, are 1 syn per teaspoon, and there is way less than a teaspoon on this portion, which is why for za'atar I just don't syn it. Usually I do syn sesame seeds if they're on their own. Anyway, so in total, with the yogurt and the olive oil in the tray bake, this is a 3.5 syn lunch. As it's Tuesday, Mum is here for dinner, and tonight we're having a tagine, and this is from one of my favourite books that you guys are starting to see more often because I've just recently remembered I had it, which is One Dish Vegan by the brilliant Robin Robertson, who of course has written a ton of vegan recipe books. So just adapting the tagine recipe very, very slightly. I'm not adding any apricots just because I don't really like them in cooked stuff. I don't really like them dried anyway, so no great loss. And I'm just replacing oil with fry light. But apart from that, we're following this recipe. So here's everything that's going into it. We'll be serving it on couscous, but essentially it's some chickpeas. We've got some potato, red onion, peppers, green olives, a few spices, which cayenne, turmeric and smoked paprika. We've got a carrot, some zest and juice of a lemon, and some stock for the couscous and also to go in the tagine itself. And then of course I'm going to be topping the lot with some coriander. This is a very simple recipe. You just saute off the onion and carrot in some fry light. And then I've got a potato chopped up plus my orange and red peppers that I'm going to add in. So we'll put those in along with a teaspoon of smoked paprika, half a teaspoon of turmeric and a quarter of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, as well as some fresh garlic and ginger, although of course I'm using frozen, you know me. So I also added in my frozen ginger and garlic, loads of each, and 2 tins of chickpeas, a tin of tomatoes, and also about another tin of water and 1 Knorr vegetable stock cube. Now it just needs to sit there basically for like 20-25 minutes, and then it will be topped with fresh coriander. When it's cooked, I'm going to stir fry the zest and juice of this lemon that I'm just going to prepare now, because me and Mum are going to go and start watching Grimm, you know us. And it does have green olives in it, but what I'm doing, rather than cooking it with it in, because as it stands this is sin-free, so just to make sure it's really, really accurate, I'm going to add these on our individual portions. So you can have 8 olives in brine for 1.5 syns. So I'll either have 8 or 16, I don't know yet, probably 8. And then Mum will have some because, you know, she's not on Slimming World. And that's really it. It's such a simple, delicious recipe. And once again, it's just the vegetable tagine from One Dish Vegan by Robin Robertson. I probably, if I was going to recommend any vegan cookbook, it would be this one, to be totally honest with you. It's really accessible. It's got loads of brilliant recipes. Its only drawback is the fact that it doesn't have pictures in it. But apart from that, you know, most of the recipes I've tried in here are brilliant. Okay, here's the finished product. I've just got my 8 olives on top and some coriander. So this is just 1.5 syns in total, and I've just served it over couscous. I made mine into a little mound in the middle, and we just had a little bit of like an oxo cube crumbled into the couscous, and Mum's already mixed hers all up, and I've got leftovers as well, and as I said, this part's sin free, but if we want seconds then we've got some there. Tagine was lush. Mum agrees, don't you, Mother?
I do.
Oh yeah, and everyone said happy birthday to you.
Oh, thank you so much.
So for dessert, we're having our usual half a pot each of Tesco free from apricot fromage frais, which is suitable for vegans. It's 2 syns for half of the 400 gram pot, so 200 grams. Maths. I'm also having a cup of it after dinner too. I totally forgot to tell you guys about a coffee I had this afternoon, so sorry about that. I had a coffee mid-afternoon. It was kind of in the middle of a load of work stuff, and I meant to film it, and then I just never got around to it because I ended up being on loads of calls. Anyway, so it was my normal coffee, so it was 1 syn for 100 mils of Alpro Almond Barista, but I also had 3 teaspoons, so a tablespoon, of Sweet Freedom gingerbread syrup in there, because when I went to the shops at lunchtime, and I would show you a grocery haul, but I've put half of it away. It's just veggies really, except for I did get some Sweet Freedom different syrups because they're in Lidl's this week, and Lidl's is like the third closest supermarket to me. Yeah, although I say supermarket, it's really small. I only live in a small town. Anyway, so yeah, I put some of that in, which is my first time trying it, and it's really nice. Like, the flavours in that one are really, really good. So I recommend that. I think they're £2.49 each.
I bought 4. I can't believe I spent £10 on essentially sugar. But there we go. So I got the gingerbread syrup, I got the golden syrup, like version of, I got the coconut choc shot, and I got the coffee choc shot. So I thought they could all be quite fun to try. Anyway, so the syrup was 2 syns, and obviously the milk was 1, so that was 3 syns for a coffee this afternoon. So just to summarise all that, it was 3.5 at breakfast time, 3.5 at lunchtime, 3 for my coffee in the afternoon, 1.5 for dinner, and 2 for my yoghurt.
It's now 9:30 and I'm making myself a cup of nighttime tea. I actually didn't show you guys, but I had an after dinner tea earlier when Mum was here. So I'm having one of my nighttime teas now. I need an early night tonight. I'm really tired today. I'm still not feeling 100%. My glands are still up, still getting a bit of a sore throat. I'm a bit bunged up. You know, it's just not optimal. Anywho, so I've got my nighttime tea. I'm currently on 14.5 syns, so there's 10.5 to play with. And I decided to go with my Nomo choc drops, and I'm having 4 because that's how many's left. So that's 8 syns, and that leaves me 2.5 syns under my syn limit today. So very pleased with that. Just wanted to show you guys the Sweet Freedom things that I got earlier. Just for interest really. That's the ones I got. So the gingerbread, golden syrup, and then coffee and coconut choc shots. So don't know what I'm going to be doing with those yet, but you know, it's all good.
All right, so that's actually all from me today, guys. Finishing on 22.5 syns, like I said, and I am feeling so good to be back on Slimming World properly. I have to say that yesterday was a struggle, but today it hasn't felt hard at all. It's just been, it's almost felt like a relief. So yes, I feel like I've got my mojo back now, and I'm so happy about it. That is actually everything from me today. So if I do have anything else, which I highly doubt based on the time now, but if I do, it would only be a cup of nighttime tea. And of course my usual water. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll just see you tomorrow, guys. Thanks so much for watching, as always. Night night.